I'm standing on Hippolytus Street, one of the three major roadways undergoing a year-long street restoration project. This time next April, you're going to see wider sidewalks, new brick pavers, new street lighting, and new landscape.
They are calling it a legacy project that will also improve Treasury and Spanish streets. It has only taken a few days to get more than half of the downtown store owners on board. Although some are getting disgruntled with the inconvenience that construction brings, Anthony Sexton, who owns the Victorian House Bed and Breakfast, says it's worth it.
Many of Grant's lessons come from an activity-based statistics learning method created by Alan Rossman of the California Polytechnic State University. Flagler College adjunct professor and owner of the refinery, Kevin Van Dyke, says it's Grant's choices that make her so great.
Flagler College associate professor Cary Grant teaches discrete math and statistics, but doesn't look like the math teacher many of us fear. Her typical day starts with teaching, but not in academia. Grant's first classroom of the day is in a group fitness room at the Refinery Athletic Club and Wellness Center on Anastasia Island at 5:30 in the morning, where she teaches classes ranging from body pump to yoga. Standard deviations and downward dogs are all in a day's work for Grant. Although Grant is decades older than most of her students, many of them find it hard to keep up with her. I'm standing in a cold room with dim light in a part of Union Station few people ever visit. With me are Beverly Swain Stanley and Tom Whitaker of the Union Station Redevelopment Corporation. We're about to descend into a perfectly cut square in the floor.
So you get your hands on it first before you move your feet over that way.
We carefully brace our hands on a ladder and climb down to reach the mezzanine level of Union Station's main hall.
We're standing up behind 6 Legionnaire statues made of plaster.
46 sculptures of Roman legionaries or soldiers line the main hall, standing tall at 8 feet and each with a unique design. They look down from the station arches on the commuters rushing about below. Collectively, they represent the 46 states that made up the United States in 1906 when the station was built.
I think there's about 6 or 8 different types, and they just interchange the parts and pieces, and they're all symmetrical too. If you look at across the station, at one end of the station, they'll have 2 identical ones matched up as you go away from the center.
The legionaries are among some of the station's original artifacts, dating back to its opening more than 100 years ago. After checking them out for a bit, we climb back up the ladder and head down to the main floor, to a room historically reserved for the most powerful person in Washington.
For all of those uninsured, the Affordable Health Care Act has put into effect the insurance marketplace, where you can now choose from several different types of insurance, all offering something a little different. To learn more detailed information, log on to news4jax.com and click on the Health Reform tab. I'm Lindsey Sperber, Channel 4, the local station.
I think the 4 key things that I look for in a student coming out of school is critical thinking, ability to analyze, think, language skills, ability to tell a story, and they're not afraid to play with the equipment. They might have learned on the oldest equipment ever. Doesn't really make any difference. As long as they can transfer those visual skills, those sound skills, those writing skills, they'll do great.
Thank you, Michael, and no wonder why you enjoyed covering this Finding Flagler story. Next, Michael takes us behind the brims of the most famous hats on our campus. I hear that Catherine and another librarian have just started Fabulous Hat Fridays at the Proctor Library. So it would only be fitting for Michael to participate in the new tradition before he graduates in May.
Reporting from St. Augustine, I'm Lindsey Sperber with FCTV News Center.